Hi everybody, Marian Mulligan here from Gardens of Delight and Crazy Old People. I'm a bit of a hippie. I've been thinking a lot with a lot of people spending time at home and that it's actually winter here. It's cold and a lot of people are spending a lot more time working from home, schooling from home right now. Well, it's almost spring. So I thought, you know what? I have a bit of a unique situation here where I'm a horticulturist, I'm a gardener, I'm also a hippie. I know you didn't know that, but I am starting an indoor garden. So I thought I'd share it with you and maybe you can learn how to do that too. Come on, I'll show you. So I live in an older house. So this is our kitchen slash Luke's office. Hi, Luke.
Hello.
And this is the entrance to the downstairs of my house. It's not a traditional basement, but you know what? It's perfect for what I need. That's Woofy. Look out! You better run. So here it is. The stairs down. So here's the beginning of my indoor gardening area. So what I have here is my light table, but essentially it's just a surface that I put these tubs in that are watertight. You can use like a boot rack or anything that holds the water and you can put your tray into. And we have our lights. These are sort of specialized for cannabis growing, which I don't have any going here right now. So I'm going to probably this weekend switch my lights over. So they're more like these bulbs that I have. And this is my lettuce that I started in January. And it's almost ready to start harvesting some lettuce dinners. Oh, look at this. My cucumber's flowering. Oh, that's so exciting. My cucumber's flowering. So pretty soon, as soon as this one starts to open, I'll get a Q-tip, and each time a flower opens, I'll just touch it with the Q-tip to pollinate. These are my tomatoes. And I'm not sure if they're ready to pot up yet or not. I'll check them later. Okay, so I just spent a little time rearranging the space down here, and I'm giving myself more room to grow some bigger plants. So the tomatoes will go in these two big pots. These are also for tomatoes. I have this pot here, which I'm going to replace with a bigger one because that's for squash. And then around here, I have one for the squash. So those are everything that I've got started already that's soon going to be ready to pot up. And this weekend, we'll be installing more of the tube lighting like this above this growing area here. So that's kind of exciting. And yeah, so let's get to starting some seeds. My cucumber's in flower. So here I have my lettuce that's ready for when I eat the bigger lettuce that I have, which I'm going to start probably next week. Then I'll replace it with this batch of lettuce, and it'll be simple because I'll just keep refilling this so that I've always got some ready to go. I think the next time I'm going to put a few more seeds in each little segment because I'd like them to be thicker and fuller in the bigger pots. So this is just a seeding tray. You can use anything. You could use egg cartons, as long as it has drainage in the bottom. You need a place for that water to escape when you water it. And therefore you need something waterproof underneath it so that it's not going to leak all over your house. My cucumbers in flower. Potting mix that I use is a combination of coconut, it's called coconut coir, which is shredded coconut fiber, pretty much good for everything. I also added just a little bit of worm castings for nutrition. And the white that you see, this is perlite. And what perlite does is it just gives some airspace in the soil so the soil's not too heavy and kind of squishing the seeds or the roots once the roots start going. It also provides good drainage, so nothing, I tend to overwater at times because sometimes I know I'm not going to get back down here right away. So if I've overwatered, then it's not going to sit and drown the plant too quick. I think that's plenty. Here's another trick. You've got to make labels. So whatever you're starting, here's my cantaloupe. Here's my label. I know, you always think, oh, I'll remember. No, guess what? You won't. So this is cantaloupe. One of the really important things about seeds, and I'll show you a couple of different varieties here so that you can see they're different on every package. This says 75 to 85 days. That's how long it takes for this plant to produce the fruit. This is my peppers. These peppers are 60 to 65 days. So these I'm growing indoors, so it's not as important, but I live in Canada, and where I live, we have a very short growing season. So I always want to check the days, because if I'm going to pick something that's 95 to 120 days to maturity, I can't grow it here, not outdoors. So check your seed pack. Make sure that whatever you're choosing has a pretty quick turnaround, 40 to 50 days. Okay, so that's a really important part that people don't necessarily tell you. So let's go ahead, plant a couple of cantaloupe, because there's no way I can grow cantaloupe outdoors here because it's just not warm enough. But I'd sure love some inside. So I think I'll just plant 4. Then what I'll do is once they get going, I'll probably have to destroy a couple or give them away. But depending on what my other crops do, maybe I'll have room. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that seed and I'm going to poke it in and make sure it's covered. It's not rocket science. I talk to people every day and they're so concerned about all the little details. You know what? Plants want to grow. So just give them a chance and you'll be fine. And what else do I have here? Oh, peppers. Peppers are another one that's tough to grow outdoors here. It's just too cold. So I'm going to make myself some peppers. And the other nice thing about growing them inside is that they don't take a lot of root. They don't take up a lot of space. They do, however, attract aphid. So I'm going to want to make sure that these peppers are always being checked for insects, because I do not want an infestation in here. kinds of zucchini, so I think I'll just do 2 of each because zucchini produce a lot. So I want to be careful about how many of those I have. And they're fairly big plants, so we'll see. Although I've never grown them completely indoors. So there's 2 of those. Just gonna push that in. You know, you can go and buy all kinds of fancy tools and all kinds of fancy equipment if you want to, but you don't need to. I'm only using this fancy tray because I have it. If I didn't have it, I would be using an egg carton or a yogurt container with a hole punched in the bottom or something like that. There's my zucchini. That's my regular zucchini. This one is called a jade dragon squash, so we'll see. And I have broccoli. Ooh, I think I'm gonna do a few broccoli because if they get going, they're so tasty. These seeds have been treated. They're pelleted, so they're easier to manage. They're not so small. Broccoli is it's so high in nutrition. I think I'll do about 8. Everything. So I'll just put my seeds away. Now, everything else here, I'm going to do a slightly different method of planting. So the fertilizer I'm using right now is a combination of Sea Storm, Black Storm, and Gold Storm for the vegetative growth period. And it's a company called Innovating Plant Products. You can find them at innovatingplantproducts.com, and they're all organic. They're made in Canada. They're mostly, I think he said 95% sourced in Canada. So I'm pretty impressed. And of course, being Canadian, I'll buy Canadian when I can. So I'm just going to water my lettuce because it needs it with my fertilizer water before I water up my seeds. There. All right. Now I'm going to go get some plain water so that I can wet my seedlings. And I'll be right back. If I was to water it from above, what would happen is my what would happen is that all the seeds would get disrupted. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put water into the tray and let all the plants soak up as much water as they want for now. You can see it filling up. Okay, so that tray here is full of water. Well, not full, but there's quite a bit of water in, ready for all of these plants, for these guys to soak it up and start germinating those seeds. So, so thanks for joining me here to start my seeds for my indoor garden. And who knows, soon I'll have more of this Did I mention my cucumber's in flower? I'm so excited. Yay. I'll keep you posted. I'm so happy.